Hello everybody, welcome to the SWAYAM NPTEL course on customer relationship management. We are in week 5 and this is Dr. Shagata Chatterjee from VGSOM IIT Kharagpur who is taking this course, and we are discussing CRM in services market. And in the last session or last video, I was discussing about the heterogeneity, intangibility, simultaneity and perishability. These are the 4 factors that leads to which are key characteristics of services. Now, in this particular thing, we will talk about the service situations where relationship marketing has crucial roles. Some of the situations where in the service context where the relationship management will have a role. So, one is ongoing or periodic desire of service by customer. So, sometimes some kind of services are ongoing kind of services, and some kind of services requirement are periodic. For example, haircut, a very basic thing. A haircut is a periodic service that you require. On the other hand, the ongoing service is like your TV connection that you have here or internet connection that you have your home. It is an ongoing service. Now, these two things are two different contexts, service contexts. You have to remember that every time if you want to do a haircut, the decision that you take for an ongoing thing, you generally take a decision and you generally stick to that decision for quite some time. You do not switch from one service provider of your mobile phone to another service provider of your mobile phone, the phone connection or the TV connection or the internet connection very easily. But you take quite a lot of time to decide that which one will you go. So, the decision is before the consumption starts, but once the consumption starts, you generally do not switch. The loyalty is generally higher. On the other hand, where it is a periodic service, for example, haircut, you might today go to this particular barber, tomorrow you might go to that barber, tomorrow the later day you can go to a spa or a salon or something like that. So, your choices change. And let us say it might be another thing which is let us say a doctor. Sometimes we change doctor. So, if we do not go to the same doctor, if there is a reliability issue, we generally go to the same doctor. But we also switch doctors probably more frequently than you switch your mobile phone's connection. So that is another issue where you generally the decision is taken multiple times. It is not a single decision, then you stick for a longer period of time. So, customer decides which service provider he or she wants to choose in this kind of situations, and there are alternative service suppliers, and switching from one service provider to another service provider is pretty common in case of periodic service. So, these are the situations basically where the customer loyalty or customer CRM management which leads to customer loyalty will become an important factor. So, for an ongoing service, generally customer loyalty happens if you do not renew, if the renewal is there. So, for example, oftentimes we keep on having the same bank account or the same mobile phone, but we keep adding another bank account, or I keep adding another mobile SIM from a different provider, and I might stay back with this particular service provider. I might have my account active, but my overall consumption will come down in this particular account, which will shift to another account. That is also a loyalty issue, and that is something. So, it is not always 1-0. In a product context, it is always 1-0. In a service context, it might not be always 1-0. There might be 1-0 and then 0.3 and 0.7. Like whatever you were consuming in the last month, now you are consuming only 30% of that, and the rest of the 70% you are giving to somebody else. So, that kind of situations can also arise, and customer relationship managers has to carefully identify that which type of service situation it is and what kind of loyalty my customer is showing to me. So, in this also, like I talked about product quality, here also another important thing that leads to loyalty and satisfaction, one important thing is service quality, which becomes an important factor. Now, if you remember, in a service dominant logic, we say that everything is a service. There is a continuum between product and service, but we actually try to say that in the continuum this is tangible and this is intangible and less customizable and more customizable. That was the classic view. So, ideally initially it was like there was products and there was service, but later point of time people started to believe that there is a continuum and there are some kinds of things are product, some kinds of things are service. Services are intangible, products are tangible, and services are more customizable and products are less customizable. But later point of time people started saying, based on the service dominant logic, people started saying that no, there is no difference between product and service. We do not give any product and service specifically. We practically give solutions and solutions to some customer problems, and solutions might have a mixture of customer, product and service together, and that will also have a price. So, these two together creates the solution and there will be certain price of that which will together create a customer satisfaction. So, this is something which comes from customer dominant logic. Now, in that mixture of products and services, services will also be discussed in the context of loyalty with service quality. Now, Parasuraman et al., some researchers or some early thinkers in the context of service quality or in the context of services marketing has given a particular gap theory. So, they said that there are different kinds of gaps that are there between what customer wants and what customer get, and this difference between this gap will actually lead to satisfaction, which is basic expectancy disconfirmation theory that we were talking about beforehand, that you have an expectation, you have something, you get something, the distance between that will create satisfaction. Now, how that distance can be reduced? If you can improve your service quality, that distance can be reduced. Now, service quality is a very vague term. Product quality can be measured based on product specifications. You can say that okay, the product should be this much wide, this much height, this much will be the durability, this much should be its corrosion will be low, the pressure that it can handle will be high, and this and that. So, those kinds of things can be measured in a laboratory experiment. So, you can know that what is exactly the product quality. If you remember, so there are damage testings of cars. So, when the cars are built, the cars are actually smashed against a wall like in a full force to check that whether this particular, and with a robot inside and with a remote control way, but it is they try to check that whether the car has the durability, whether it can withstand a collision, a head on collision or something like that. So, those kind of tests can be done in case of a product. Now, service is a very peculiar thing. Service has simultaneity, service has heterogeneity, service has perishability. Service situation not only depends on you, it also depends on the receiver. Let us say you try to give a very good service in terms of food and etc., but the receiver's mood is anyway not good on that day. He might have fired on that day, or he might not got promotion on that day which he expected. He is anyway he or she is anyway very angry or very frustrated in his mind, and he has come to your restaurant to get some food, and you are giving a very good service. Now, even if you give a very good service, that person is not in a receiving end, is not in a receiving mood. So, if he is not in a receiving mood, he might not enjoy the service as you want to give. So, these are lots of different things which will ultimately impact the outcome of a service. This is not something that you can control, and that is why the measurement of service quality is very difficult. So, that is a context that many thinkers identified beforehand. Now, if that still we have to do a measurement of the service quality, what are the key factors based on which people try to measure, or people try to say that a service is good, a service is bad? That is something that these researchers try to find out. So, some of them are Reliability. Reliability means how much I can rely on this person. That means how much whatever I expect from him, he will be able to give that. What is the probability of that? Or how much whatever he is saying that he will be able to give, he will be able to deliver that. So, the probability of that is reliability basically. So, it comes from the commitment of the person towards you and also the potential, the ability of the person to give, to fulfill that commitment, that is reliability. Then is assurance. Assurance means that how much assurance his image, his brand, his services gives me that okay, that I whatever I will get from them, whatever I wanted to get from him is secured, is safe, it is assured. So, this particular part, the reliability and assurance, oftentimes these things are intercorrelated with each other. These are not exactly 90-degree angles. That means, these are not exactly orthogonal to each other. They are almost sometimes the same things which leads to reliability might be also the same thing which may lead to assurance. For example, the brand name. The brand name gives you what? The brand name gives you assurance that okay, this guy will be truthful, and this guy will, whatever he is saying, he will deliver, and whatever he will only deliver good stuff because he has a good brand name. So, sometimes brand name gives you reliability and assurance. Like the certification, if this particular guy has some quality certification, that also gives you reliability and assurance. So, these are the terms which you try to see. Then tangibles. So, though we say that service is intangible, there are lots of things when you provide the service which are tangible, which are not exactly related to the service outcome, but gives you signals that my service outcome is good. For example, when you go to the restaurant, the view of the restaurant, the types of decorations in the restaurant might not be related to the food quality. Ultimately, the food might not taste as good as possible, but that view also gives you a little bit of service quality, a signal that my service will be good. So, that is why people give so much importance on ambience, so much importance on the decorations, exactly how the setup will look like, the tables will look like, the plates will look like. So, all of these things matter. So, next important thing is empathy. Empathy is whether the service provider understands you. So, that is another factor which becomes important. The empathy means whether the feelings that I have, whether the person in the front, the problems that I have, the needs that I have, whether the person is able to understand that. So, only if he is able to understand that, he will be able to provide me a good service. And the last one is responsiveness. Responsiveness stands to how accurately and how quickly, not only quick is important. So, time is one factor, but accuracy is another factor of responsiveness. So, how timely and how accurately one particular service provider gives me services. So, empathy leads to understanding. He understands my problem. That may lead to responsiveness. If we understand, he will quickly and accurately give me service, and responsiveness and reliability and assurance, basically along with that these tangibles also, these all will lead to service quality. So, something like that. So, something like that is given by, so this is called the SERVQUAL dimensions. A way of measuring that was created by Parasuraman et al. Professor Parasuraman and Zeithmal. I might be wrong in the spellings and etc. You have to check. Parasuraman and Zeithmal has given this particular thing. Now, we have to understand that this service quality and product quality, as I was telling, will together lead to satisfaction, and that satisfaction will lead to loyalty. So, that is something that even in the product context we say seen that satisfaction leads to loyalty, and that is, and the antecedents of that is product quality and the perceived value. Here also similar things happen, but service quality is measured in a different way. What are the examples of CRM in services market? Let us talk about that. So, I have seen this particular brand Lemon Tree while I was teaching in an institute called IFMR in Chennai. So, this particular restaurant, I have a hotel, it is a 3-star I think hotel, and I have seen about it in Chennai. So, they have various kinds of brands of hotels. So, one is Lemon Tree, so the major brand is Lemon Tree Premier Upscale. So, then Lemon Tree Resorts, which are leisure brands, and Lemon Tree Hotels, normal hotels, which are mid scale brand. So, these are probably 4-star or something, and this is 3-star. So, within the same brand name Lemon Tree, they are giving different kind of services, because the services will be perceived differently by different groups of customers. And they have also came up with a separate Lemon Tree Resorts, which is focusing on not the scale, not the whether you are going for luxury or convenience, but this is majorly focused on neither luxury not convenience, but your interest for what you are coming to this particular hotel. You are coming to this particular hotel to enjoy the holidays, so or enjoy your leisure time. So, that is what this Lemon Tree Hotels does. But along with these 3 classic hotels, they also came up with another hotel, which is Red Fox brand. So, see, the brand name is different here. They want to create a differentiation, because the moment I keep a Lemon Tree brand here also, that will reduce the brand name of Lemon Tree, the brand value of Lemon Tree. So, they created another brand called Red Fox, which is a Lemon Tree hotel. So, this Red Fox brand is majorly focused here, and the Lemon Tree hotel is slightly written, smallly written. So, it's a different kind of branding strategy, and this is a economy brand. So, this is something that we have seen in the context of Rosewood also, but Rosewoods the context were different. Here also I am seeing the umbrella branding strategy, the whether I will go for umbrella branding or whether I will go for a different branding. Like Premier Resorts and Hotels are basically 3 product lines, 3 service lines, but Red Fox is a different brand altogether. So, they have created that, understanding that the customer needs are different. But they did not stop here. These are very classic. They did not stop here. They have come up with a rewards program. What is the rewards program? This is where the customer loyalty comes in, the customer relationship management comes in. So, what are the rewards program that this guy had at some point of time? So, one is Lemon Tree Smiles. Join our guest rewards program to avail exciting benefits every time you book to stay with us and get member exclusive offers. So, this is a classic. So, it is a multiple purchase or cross selling kind of a reward program, where if you purchase from their brand, or if you purchase from any one of the hotel, you can use the points benefits generated to another hotel or in another purchase context. So, this is like any other reward program that this particular retailers or service companies does. So, this is something which specifically service companies does generally. Product companies do not have this kind of benefits, generally do not have, because the repeat purchase context is not there in products. The repeat purchase context is more common in case of services. And then Lemon Tree Engage, exclusive reward programs of our corporate partners. So, this is B2C, but this is majorly B2B. Now, our partners get rewarded for bookings at any hotel. Now, you have to remember, though it is B2B, it can be construed as B2C also, because let us say this kind of benefits we also sometimes get. Let us say you are working in a particular company, and this particular company has a tie up with Le. Now, what kind of customer you are to this Lemon Tree? Are you a corporate customer or a personal customer? Because when you go for a travel also, when you go for a leisure also, you might accumulate some points which you have accumulated through your corporate travels, and those points you can use, or you can get certain kind of benefits in terms of certain offs, certain this, certain that. just because you are working in a certain organization which has a tie-up with Lemon Tree. So, the corporate partners can give both B2B and B2C kind of services. You can give both B2B and B2C kind of services to the corporate partner. So, you have to think that there are two different kinds of customers even in the B2C context for hotels. One is who are individual customers who are not attached with any corporate who has a tie up with you. Another is another group of customers who are also individual customers, but has a tie up, but working with a company who has tie up with your hotel. That kind of two different customers, you have to create two different kind of loyalty programs for them. Then what? So, in the Lemon Tree Smiles, what kind of benefits they give? They give redeem shopping vouchers, because they know that this whenever you go to travel somewhere, you generally do shopping. They give complimentary hotel room upgrade, which is obvious, detailed, dedicated customer service line, that is also very good. Free stay for the second guest. So, stay free for the second guest means oftentimes people can come with the family members or for the spouse with their fiance. So, if that kind of situation says the room is basically the cost of the room, they actually include both the people's cost, and if you are a Lemon Tree Smile member, you do not have to pay for the second member. So, that kind of benefit is something that they are getting. Obviously, 10% extra discount, which is obvious, and redeem free room nights. So, you get room nights free, which you can redeem later. So, these kind of benefits that they get in the Smiles. What are the extra other things that they give? They give day rooms. Day rooms means in the context of business customers, business travelers, they know that many customers will come on the day. Probably in the morning they will come, they will give certain services, and they might have a flight at the late night, and in the afternoon they might want to just lay down somewhere. So, that is a day room. They will not spend the night at your hotel. By probably 10 p.m. or something, they will leave the hotel. So, that kind of customers, they generally hotels get quite a lot. Now, these are day customers, and most specifically you get this kind of customers in a metro city where people are busy. They come in the morning, leave in the evening, but they have 2-3 hours in between and they want to lie down somewhere. So, or have a bath, have a good lunch somewhere. So, they are also attracting this kind of customers base, and they are attracting from their existing customer who are coming from the corporate sector. They are targeting this particular bunch and asking them to, why don't you come and get the benefits of our programs. Then what? Stay more, save more, which is an obvious one. The longer you stay, you will get volume discounts or revenue discounts, so which is obvious. Then you also get weekend vacations. Weekend vacations means 50% off in the weekends, because generally you will see again this customer, the major focus is corporates. Now, corporates get weekends. In the weekends, the hotel footfalls comes down, and you want to attract, not in the resorts probably, in the resorts they will not get this kind of a benefit, but in the upscale or in the mid-scale situations they will get this kind of cases where in the weekend the footfall comes down, because because customers generally do not come in the weekends, because these are the hotels in the metro cities which does not work in the weekend. So, that is why you will give destination discounts on the weekends. And also advance purchase means you can buy much ahead and you can get a lesser price. So, these kind of benefits Lemon Tree was giving. So, these are all associated with some kind of thought process in the services that you can handle. Another important example that I love to give is this Only Vegas. Now, Las Vegas I am talking about, is a city where the whole city itself is a brand and whole city itself is a service. The city municipality knows that our major source of revenue is tourism. So, the whole city has opened its platter to attract tourists. Now, you might have heard about certain campaigns. They have actually, Las Vegas city municipality has run a campaign that whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Now, I will actually show you how this Vegas city has evolved over time in the in the context of CRM in the B2C context or in the services context. So, what I will do in the next 5-10 minutes, what you have to do is, I will tell you a video. We cannot run a YouTube video in this particular thing, but the link is given. I will stop the, you should stop my video here, open that link in a different browser and watch the video first. So, stop the presentation, stop the this YouTube video that I am talking about. So, talking in that particular lecture video, you should stop, copy this particular link, paste it in another browser. It might be a 2-3 minutes video. Just see the video and then again come back to this particular lecture that I am giving. So, the first thing that I want you to see is this particular video, go and see and then come back. So, I hope that you have seen the video now. So, this is a particular ad where if you have seen this ad, you will know that this particular lady has gone to Las Vegas with her friends and her husband was at home. And she has enjoyed lots of things in Las Vegas and she is coming back and showing the pictures. Now, she is showing hand-drawn pictures to her husband because she cannot show the real pictures. So, he is saying that okay, we are in the pool, we are in the restaurant, we are in the pub, we are dancing, all pictures are hand-drawn and the actual real pictures which are clicked, they are such that she cannot show that to her husband, and then it says that whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So, this is a particular group of people that Vegas initially started to target, where that it is a scene city. They started saying that it is a scene city. Anything you can do here, nobody will know outside, and all kind of scenes you can do. You can enjoy, you can have drinks, you can dance, you can go to the pub, you can do this, that, blah, blah, blah. So, nobody will know outside, and that attracted lots of American customers and customers from other places as well, who wanted this kind of pleasure. But all of a sudden, it didn't become a place which is well perceived by family persons, or which is well perceived by many other people who are basically ethical and etc. So, there is a huge chunk whom you could not attract by this kind of a view. If you have a view that okay, this is a place where only bad things happen, only immoral things happen, then that is a problem. So, they slowly changed their identity, and this is another video that they have launched next. Please stop this particular video that I am lecturing in and go to this video, copy this particular link and watch the video. So, hope you have seen this video. This is a different video altogether. It has a different view from the previous one. So, previous one has lots of campaigns. I have given only one campaign. There are lots of similar kind of campaigns which happen where people are saying that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Though it at the end of the video, this one also says that, but basically this is focusing on be yourself. What is be yourself? Be yourself says that you can be anybody in this place. In this place, you can be a movie star. In this place, you can be a rock star who sings songs. You can be a person who you can live your dream here. This is where you do not have a baggage of your identity and etc. You can live your life, whatever you cannot do in a real life situation, whatever you generally dreamt of doing, but there were lots of bindings around you. You can have all of those stuff in here. So, their focus have shifted from being a scene city to being a place where you get freedom. And how do this particular idea came? How, from where did they do this kind of a campaign is something that we have to think about. What they did is they have opened up a Vegas sweepstakes. Sweepstakes means where you can play games and you get lots of prizes for those games. So, they have created an online gaming where you can go and register, and you can build your own avatar, own alter ego. So, whatever you want to be, you can create that. So, you can name yourself as Thor, and you select your origin as some particular city which is not known, which is a fantasy land, and you can build your character. Your character has this much smoothness, this much style, this much bravery, attitude and smartness. So, this is how, and there are points there. You have to customize your avatar, and once you customize your avatar, that avatar goes to a pub, which is a Las Vegas kind of a, if you have played the game where I forgot the name of the game, where there is a particular it's a single agent game where a person goes and drives lots of cars and kills this person and that person. I think that the name of that particular game was also Sin City or something like that, or Call for Duty or something like that, if I am not wrong. So, this is something like that particular game, if I know what I mean. So, this avatar will then go to pubs, go to clubs, do partying, have some booze somewhere, and he will enjoy that particular avatar, whatever you have created, he or she will enjoy. Now, what is the benefit of that? What is the point of creating this? There are lots of people, lots of users actually register to this, and by seeing the alter ego, how their alter ego is playing in this game, I as a person, as Las Vegas municipality person, if I can analyze the behavior, I know that what kind of services I have to give. I know that how many pubs I have to create, how many clubs I have to create, how much footfall they have. I can change the situations inside the game, designs inside the game, to all of a sudden know that what my customers want, what kind of things my customers actually are enjoying, whether this song they are enjoying or that song they are enjoying, whether they want to go to the beach or they want to go to the pub, how many people are going to the pub, what kind of drinks they are ordering. Whatever their alter ego is behaving is actually what they will behave when they come to Las Vegas. Because in the Las Vegas, you want to be yourself, you want to be your alter ego. So, from this particular game, they get an idea. They selected some people, the prize money was you will spend some 7 days or 7 days holidays free of cost in Las Vegas. Some people actually won that and gone to Las Vegas, but by doing this exercise, by spending the holiday money for those 7 people, they got data for huge amount of people. And from that data, they understood that what kind of varieties people want, and based on that variety, they have created this campaign. And they have also further understood that they are not targeting a specific group of people who also wants to enjoy in Las Vegas. These are the people who are marginalized in American community, slowly moving ahead. These are basically the LGBTQ community. So, they found out that this kind of community who also makes quite a bit of money, who also wants to spend on their own enjoyment and etc., but probably for various social reasons they are not able to come out, how I can focus on them. And that led to that kind of idea which gets generated from this kind of an data will lead to this ad. Again, I will ask you to stop this video. This might be a little bit longer ad, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes ad. You go and see this ad. And if you have seen this ad now, you will now understand that they have shifted. So, first they focused on scene. First they focused on scene, then they focused on liberating yourself, and then they focused on liberation from any social stigma or something. So, the major goal of Las Vegas has changed over time. It from being a city where people only go to enjoy things which they cannot enjoy in the real life situation, which is probably immoral to do or probably not accepted in the society. From there, they have changed their view and they become a place where you can spread your wings, you can be free. And not only free, you are not only free from your own internal inhibitions, you are free from the external inhibitions also. So, this is something, that is how the Las Vegas has moved, and all of these things actually is targeted towards the customer relationship management. Now, imagine a person, if somebody sees that ad and he belongs to this community, who gets a psychological attachment with this kind of a community, will have a huge affiliation towards Las Vegas, because Las Vegas could give him this kind of a feeling that okay, you are safe here, you can come here and can enjoy and nobody will judge you. Similarly, here nobody will judge you. This was around some years back, but a person who wants to live his dream, who wants a very luxurious life, grandeur life and etc., but he does not get that, will actually love this particular ad, this campaign, because here he gets the opportunity probably for 2 days, 3 days, a weekend, but live a dream of his life or her life. So, that kind of a feeling Las Vegas could give, and all of these things ultimately comes under the CRM in the services context. Thank you very much. If you have enjoyed the videos, I will be happy. Thank you very much for being with me in this particular lecture session. In the next session, we will talk about CRM into the product context. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.